welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is Batman: The Adventures Continue, Issue 4 by DC. Now, there is fighting, some shooting, and violence in this one, so if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here's the team. So, when we left off Batsy in issue 3, Barbara, Tim, and Alfred were in the Batcave. This was after Batsy, with the help of Barbara and Tim, defeated Deathstroke. They were sitting around the Batcomputer, Brucey was sitting, they were standing, and wondering who's this mystery stalker that they have. Who is this that is watching them? And as we know, that is Jason Todd, as he left the clue for Barbara in a book where to find Batman. So that's what they were doing. And then it said, next, Azrael. Ooh. So we start this one with Batsy. He's following Catwoman, Selina Kyle, and saying how maybe Tim's right and he does, follow Selina a bit too much in their forever cat and bat game. So yeah, he's following her. She stole something. He's going after her thinking this, and then she throws the bag with the crown that she stole. Batsy captures it with his, not Batarang, but Batman grappling hook. He shoots it, he grabs the crown, and Selina standing across top another roof, waving at him, giving him, a kiss, blowing him a kiss, I should say. And then suddenly, what do you call them? When you throw something at someone so their legs would be tied together as they're trying to run. One of those things, and it grabs her, and then Azrael appears. Ooh. And Batman's like, what? And I now wonder where the hell Batman put the crown away. Because, I imagine he probably put it somewhere in one of his, in his tool belt. But anyway, Azrael grabs Selina, and is running away with her. Batman's giving chase, like, what's going on? Where Azrael is standing with Selina, there's a water tower, and with a tank. So he uses his flaming lightning sword to destroy it. So when Batman swings to the roof that they are on, he falls. So he would fall, but he does, but then he manages to land safely. And he keeps following. Azrael dumps Catwoman in some alley, and she's like, ow. Poor Catwoman. He grabs her. He wants to know what she's done with the shawl that she stole. It's not specified when, but she stole this shawl from the order that Azrael belongs to, and he wants it back. And then she tells him, I don't have it anymore. I stole it for some. No, wait, they don't get to that, because Batman arrives straight after to save Catwoman. 1 second. Wait, where is that? Come on. Let's see. There we go. That rat, she said, you gotta be kidding me. And he said, I'm not kidding you. Maybe making you lose an eye will make you understand. And then I love this line from Batman. No one's losing anything tonight except me and my patience. I love Batsy. Okay, he fights, continues to fight Azrael. And as he's fighting him, he wonders, oh, I feel like I know this man. I have this feeling. And I think he remembers where he might know him from. And then he takes some powder out of his bat tool belt, and he blows it in Azrael's face because his mask doesn't have filters, as Batman suspects. The, choking and coughing from that powder slows him down. And he knows he can't fight further, so he grabs his sword and leaves. While Jason Todd, of course, is following all this from a rooftop somewhere with binoculars, saying, "Never a dull moment." Then Batman goes up to Selina. She's like, "Thanks, Bats," as she, takes off the ropes from her. But then he tells her, "Selina, this guy isn't going to let it go. You have to tell me, because he will come after you." And she said, "I'll be ready for him." But then he grabs her and like, "Selina, you have to listen. Just give me a name. I'll do the rest myself." So then Selina caves in. We don't see it, but then Gordon, Detective Bullock arrives, and some cops. They take Selina, and Gordon's like, "Why the 24-hour protection?" I think he means for Selina, and he says they have to do that. But then Betsy gets a call, and it's Alfred. And Alfred, has got his, like, the face from the cartoon. And he's like, "Sir, you are urgently needed back in the Batcave. You have a visitor." And it's, it's Azrael. Azrael's, like, standing and holding the sword to his neck. Holding the sword to his neck. As I was saying, sorry about that cut. So Batman obviously goes back, and then we learn that this is Azrael, and Batsy has been with him in this order of Demos, something like that. They both trained together. Batsy was mainly there for the art of war and everything. He was probably never going to really join in, and he skipped all the religious parts. Again, Batman says, I'm a late sleeper. He is. I don't think he would make it to church. Anyway, he goes. Like, what's the whole fuck? He goes, they're down in the Batcave, and Azrael's name. I don't know really much about Azrael, I must admit. I've only read like one comic where he was there, and that's about it, but I would like to read. So he, his name, it seems his real name is Jean-Paul, and he, so he and Batsy knew each other from the Order, and he came to Gotham to find the shawl, which Catwoman stole, and of course, based on the Order's rules, he has to punish her. But Batman says it wasn't her that stole it. She was paid to do it. So there's someone else who wanted it. And he also comments about Azrael's costume, as you can see it here, and how it's very very intimidating. And he said, "Yeah, well, I went like the infamous Dark Knight. He's the Darker Knight, and it's been very effective with the villains." So Batman doesn't straight away give him the name of who paid Catwoman. He first says, if I will help you, and me and Alfred will make you a more friendlier costume, it's going to be more ally than ally. Would you agree to be, what did he say? Would you agree to be, what did he say? Reasonable, was it, I think? Would you agree to be, reasonable? Would you agree to be reasonable? Because if not, then the shawl could be missing for a very long time. So Azrael agrees to be miserable, Miserable, sorry. Reasonable. So then he and Batsy go to this iceberg or ice lounge. It belongs to the Penguin. This is where this is where you get all the information. And Penguin's like pouring himself a drink saying, well, it's very nice of you and your cousin to come here, Batman, and not even give a concussion to one of my henchmen. Very considerate. Now, what can I do? And, well, they obviously want the name of, now, he starts to talk, Cobblepot, and he says that he's like another middleman. He paid Catwoman to give the shawl to steal the shawl, but he gave it to someone else. He doesn't have it. And his employer would like to stay, unnamed. But then Azrael slaps him, basically. And, of course, this angers old Cobblepot. And so he calls his henchman, it's like this big, what is it, Birdman. I'm not sure if he's wearing a costume or if he's some kind of mutated Birdman or something. It's not clear. He's it looks like a war, what is his name? War something, Warbird maybe. So anyway, he grabs Batsy and also about to grab Azrael, and he's like, Cobblepot yells, eliminate them. And he's like, no problem, boss. After this, I'm gonna get a bonus. I'm gonna ice Batman and this loser. And then Batman tells him some kind of name of a battle move, and they both kick Birdman in the stomach. And then they kind of split. Azrael goes after the Penguin, and Batsy is left alone to fight Birdman. It knocks him around a bit, telling him Cobblepot's pretty cheap, but maybe he'll pitch in to pay for his medical bills. And then he goes to out into the terrace. That's where Cobblepot ran to. And he's with and he sees that Azrael's holding him, and Cobblepot's in really fucking rough shape. And Batsy's like, Azrael. And he says, well, he gave me the name of the buyer. He was very cooperative. But as it is the law of our order, he must be punished instead of Catwoman. And he just throws him over the terrace. But, over the balcony. Balcony, I think, is more accurate. Batman runs forward, uses his Batman grappling hook to grab Cobblepot before he falls to his death. And he's like, Azrael, but Azrael's already gone. And meanwhile, Jason is watching all this and saying, you lost your edge, old man. You better get your head out of your cape, or else because I want you to see what's going to happen next. Or I want you to see what is happening. I kind of wonder if that was more in a menacing way, like he wants Batman to see like a future terrible thing, or he wants him to understand what's going on so he can get to Azrael. I'm not sure. I'm still very conflicted on what the hell Jason's doing there. Is he there to hurt Batman? But he did help them in the case of Deathstroke. But again, did he do it because he later wants to do something to Batman? Or what? So, we continue. After that, let me tell you. Okay, Penguins is in intensive care. Bruce is talking to Alfred, and then he says, there's been a report of a rather morbid note of something about a grave robbery that might interest him. And then we go to this place called Iceland. And it's an old skating alley, ice skating alley, and we see Azrael go in. Once he grasped the client's whereabouts from the penguin, and once he learned the client's name, he's like, I know who this is. And so he goes in, and we see a table, and on it is a body is laying, covered in the shawl. 1 second, okay. Yeah, body is covered with the shawl. And the person who stole it is Freeze. Freeze stole it in order to try to revive Nora. I mean, I guess when you think of who in Gotham would badly want, a shawl that has great healing properties, wouldn't it be our dear Mr. Freeze? Yeah, he's the one who stole the shawl, and he dug out Nora in order to revive her. But although the shawl has great healing properties, it won't revive the dead. And Azrael's facing him, and then we see him facing Freeze. Then we move on to Batman. He first goes to this Iceland place because Mr. Freeze would hide equipment there, so he thinks it's the most logical place to look. And he also, once he's heard of whose grave was robbed, he also realized who this is. So he keeps going, then he sees Azrael frozen and then a block of ice. And Mr. Freeze is behind telling him, well, he's got 60 seconds, and if his eyelid's still working, I hope he sees this. And he attacks Batman, tries to shoot him, and Batman sees that he completely lost his mind with the whole shawl business, and he's like, there's only one way to reach him, and he hates to do it. But he kicks Nora's body. And while Mr. Freeze tries to catch her, he throws a batarang. Mr. Freeze catches Nora, and he's very angry, and he's like, he's going to pay for this, my love. But the batarang hit him in the back of the helmet, and it explodes. Breaks, I should say, not explodes. It breaks. Mr. Freeze, of course, can't breathe without it. But Batman grabs his gun from the floor and shoots ice at him, and that'll keep him breathing until the police arrives. And then he uses another batarang with vibrations in order to get Azrael out of the ice. But he has a very weak pulse already, and looks like that might be it. And then he's like, we need something here. And he says, yeah, I did really skip all the religious stuff. And he goes and he grabs the shawl from Nora's body and drags it to Azrael and says, I wish I had a more equivalent, like a fancier prayer than equivalent. I forgot the word. Probably remember next time I need it. But yeah, fancier prayer than here goes nothing. And he throws the shawl over Azrael. And then we move on to someone lighting candles. And it's Bruce and Jean-Paul, and I would guess the Church of the Order that Jean-Paul is from. And he's, shall we light a candle for the dead, and one for Mr. Freeze's recovery. And then Jean-Paul says, you're much more compassionate than I am, Bruce. I would say it's even saintly. And Bruce says, I would not. As they talk, Azrael returns the shawl, And he thanks him for saving him. And he said, well, I think it's your endurance as well that played a part in here. As they both leave the church they're in. And as they leave out, as they leave out, they leave there, Azrael promises to be more reasonable next time after everything that happened. And Bruce is like, there'll be a next time. And he says, whenever you need me. And he says, thank you, I will let you know. And as they're leaving, you can see their shadows as Batman and Azrael instead of Bruce and Jean-Paul. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention this in the beginning. Well, not like the beginning here, but when Bruce returned to the Batcave and took off, he actually takes off his cowl. And Jean-Paul, like always suspected that he was Batman. And then it's something there confirmed it for him. Anyway, then we move on to Jason Todd again. After we leave them, we leave both of them. One sec. And here they're lighting candles. And they leave, and then we go to some abandoned amusement park, and Brucey narrates that it hasn't always been easy for me to work with allies. Bitter experience has taught me to appreciate them while you can, referring to what happened with Jason. And then we see Jason on not a roller coaster? No, not that. But a giant wheel, the wheel you sit in and it spins. Sitting there, and he's watching the Joker, who's in some kind of building in this park. And then it almost seems like the Joker might also see Jason. And that's it. That's where the issue ends. Ooh. Again, what is old Jason planning? And it was the next issue, Showdown at Amusement Mill. Ooh. Maybe we'll find out next issue what the hell's going on with Jason. Alright, so first cover, I really like this one. You see Azrael there standing all tall and imposing. And here you got Batsy. And Catwoman, she looks a little bit, she kind of looks like that one villain from Valiant, that's against, Solar Man of the Autumn. Yeah, she kind of looks like that with this art style. It's funny. But I really love the colors. Well, at least this, I guess, is a more logical composition. You got Azrael imposing both of them there, but, well, there's not that much of Catwoman in this one. So there we go. There's Brucey chasing her. See, she's blowing him a kiss. Mwah. And here's Azrael in his costume when he arrives. See? Let me at least show you how his costume looks with this. I think he'll be okay. This series has been out a while. Hopefully I don't get shit for it. Okay, there you go. You see him? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, and this Birdman. See? It was like, I remember Azrael in a more Batman kind of suit, not this one. Alright, as for story, it was cool to have Azrael. Again, I haven't read the comic run where he's there while he takes over for Batsy, so I don't know that much about him. Still, it was quite cool to see him and Batsy fighting. And about the shawl. It was very tragic, though, again, with Mr. Freeze. Oh, so Mr. Freeze apparently has found a cure for Nora here, but her body ended up rejecting it and she died. But Mr. Freeze is so desperate that he tried, to do anything to revive her again. But like when you read it, you just see her body and how it's already, decomposing, and she's obviously not alive anymore. The shawl, with all its power, cannot revive the dead. And again, it's so tragic with Mr. Freeze because of, his origin, at least in Batman, because, and in the animated series, because he didn't start out because he wanted to be a villain for money or fame or just pure evil. He was just taking away the opportunity to try to save his wife because of some greedy CEO, from what I remember. Well, not greedy CEO, because the company just, wouldn't let him try to save Nora and shut everything down. I mean, come on, you couldn't spare that for the man to try to save his wife? Assholes. But yeah, here we are with him again. I mean, he's probably going to be devastated and back in Arkham, and Nora hopefully back in the ground and finally resting. Yeah, tragic. So now it's all left to be seen. Oh, yeah, I said that the Joker was there, right? Yeah, he was watching, Jason was watching the Joker. So now I wonder, and I'm now thinking maybe Jason came back to kill the Joker, and he's not hoping, and he wants to make sure that Batman sees him do it. Or, because I don't know what his Jason endgame here is. Does he want to hurt Bruce? Does he want to kill the Joker? Maybe he wants to do both, in the sense of he's going to make Bruce watch him kill the Joker. I'm very curious here what's going to happen. Because again, we all know Jason, after the whole Lazarus Pit, is unhinged. So I wonder what happens here. What is he going to do? Oh, I can't wait to find out in the next issue. Then I wonder what's going to continue after that. Well, this is the Adventures Continue, so it's not like there's like one storyline. There's all sorts of adventures here, as it says. But I keep wanting to say the adventure continues without adventures. I have to keep reminding myself not to say it wrong. But yeah, this had some cool fighting scenes, a bit more violence since we had old Azrael in here. And he's not very friendly, not like Batsy. I think if the Crooks in Gotham had to deal with Azrael for a couple of weeks, they would just arrest themselves when they would see Batsy afterwards. They'd be like, we prefer you. Don't know if Cobblepot's gonna make it. Old Azrael gave him a good kissing. But that's it. That's what happened in issue 4. I look forward to see what happens in issue 5. Because we're going to get the Joker, and something's crazy going to happen. Alright, folks, so let me know what you thought of issue 4 of Batman: The Adventures Continue. And that is it. Remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!